Praise God. So why the gospel? Why the gospel? Thanks for joining me. Romans 1:17. He says, for in the gospel, so first he begins by saying, I'm obligated and I am eager. He says, and I am not ashamed of the gospel. I am not ashamed of the gospel. We should never be ashamed of the gospel. This is the most powerful, glorious truth in the world. It sets people free. When people are exposed to the gospel, their hearts are changed, societies are changed, societies are transformed because of the gospel of Jesus. He says, for in it, the righteousness of God is revealed. I don't think there's any other faith system or religious book that can declare to us the righteousness of God. People today don't even know what righteousness is anymore, right? But the Bible, which contains the gospel, shows us who God is, reveals God to us. In it, the righteousness of God is revealed. It's shown. I mean, it can be summarized if you wanted to talk about that. It could be summarized in the Ten Commandments, and it could be summarized in the Sermon on the Mount. But we go in more detail in the scriptures and we see more and more about God's righteousness. You see, God is a holy God. God does not condone murder. He does not condone lying, stealing, covetousness, adultery, sexual perversion, and things like that. Cursing and lying and harboring hatred and malice in the heart, unforgiveness, all these things. No, the righteousness of God. There is something, you see, we have a moral law in our hearts, but sometimes our hearts can become hardened by sin, and we can become very perverted. Because as we're drifting away from God, we're going down the spiral. We're going to see where the spiral leads us to in this passage. The righteousness of God is revealed in the gospel. He says, from faith for faith, or some transition from faith to faith. As we grow more and more in knowledge of God, we get a greater understanding. As our faith increases, our knowledge of God, we get a greater understanding of the righteousness of God. As it is written, the righteous shall live by faith. So this is something that is so counterintuitive, that is so different with the gospel of Jesus to every other religion, because it is based on faith, whereas every religion in the world is based on works. You say you must be a good person, and many people you talk, they say, I've got a good heart, I've never done this, I've never done that, and I've good heart, yes. But the Bible doesn't tell us that we are saved by our good works. The message is quite clear. He says the righteous shall live by faith. But some will say, okay, well, if I just have to believe, maybe I can continue living the same way. No, that's not true, right? We can talk about that another time. But the Bible contains the gospel. It reveals to us the righteousness of God, and it reveals to us how we can become righteous with God. And it is by faith. And that's what the book of Romans is all about. How we can come to know the Lord and how we live for God by faith.